3 times heavier than a normal goonch, and with a mouth 30 centimeters wide, filled with the predator's razor-pointed, inward-angled teeth, designed for seizing onto prey and not letting go.
I think the one I caught would certainly be strong enough to pull a child in. Certainly if it grabbed hold of a foot, no question at all, it could make off with them. I mean, it could probably actually make off with me if it grabbed hold of my foot.
Seeing the evidence of the fish's anatomy up close, Wade is clear about which species the culprit comes from.
The thing that makes the most sense, if people and animals are getting dragged in, it has to be one of these catfish.
The description given by Surendra Bohra of the creature as an elongated pig corresponds with the smooth, long back of the goonch. Keza Singh's statement that he saw a black shape also matches. And the sucking force caused as a catfish opens its vast mouth fits with Joga Singh's testimony. What the eyewitnesses had seen was not a dark, elongated pig, not a mythical monster, the Seuss, but the giant devil catfish, a monster-sized goonch fattened on human remains. Catfish expert Simon Clark agrees with Wade's hypothesis.
They are awesome-looking fish. Certainly got the biggest teeth of any catfish I've ever seen. I could imagine a scenario whereby somebody swimming past or wading across a river could get grabbed.
But Wade believes there are yet bigger fish out there.
There's always a strong possibility that what you've actually caught, isn't the biggest fish. There could well be something bigger down there.
With food scavenged from funeral pyres and with the weight of its body supported by the water, a goonch might keep on growing. A 3-meter goonch would weigh around 280 kilos. More than 6 times the weight of the Nepalese teenager Dil Bahadur seized before his girlfriend's eyes.
They're used to feeding on human body parts. It's not beyond the bounds of possibility that they could actually grab hold of a limb and spin and actually, dislocate an elbow or something, and maybe not actually strip the flesh from the bones. I think they would actually break it up and eat the bits. I think that's possibly a more likely scenario.
Such a fish would likely have a mouth 50 centimeters wide, with the teeth and the muscle strength to hold its victim underwater until they drowned, and then have the ability to digest the corpse.
The combined depth of its gullet and the stomach, it could swallow something maybe 4 foot 6 inches long. So it's starting to look a lot more realistic.
Other fish would also feast on the corpse until the only remains were small fragments of the victim's skeleton. These bits of bone would be heavy enough to lie undisturbed on the riverbed. The reason no trace of the victims had ever been found. Wade is well aware that his is not the only one of these monster fish. He's left with the unsettling thought that the one he caught is just the tip of the iceberg.
It's not entirely fanciful that there could be a supersized fish down there. In terms of what the actual upper limit is, I think it's one of those things that it isn't actually known. We don't know what's down there.
One thing is certain. Monster freshwater killers still haunt the murky waters of the Kali River.
Well, you may remember reading about it, but now you can see for yourself as next week's Nature Shock investigates the whale that blew up on a Taiwan street.